Meanwhile, Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders making their final pitches to voters in the Hoosier state. Watch.
The reason that this campaign is going to win is because we're doing something very unusual in contemporary American politics. We're telling the truth.
I'm going to do whatever I can to try to help. I'm not going to overpromise. I'm not going to, say, oh, it'll all be perfect, because we got to work hard to get to where we can look honestly at your daughters and your son and say, you know what, there is a future and here's how we're going to get it.
Peter Doocy, live in Clarksville, Indiana this morning. Peter, are Sanders supporters looking at tonight, perhaps, as his last big shot?
Not the ones that we've spoken to, Martha. There's a sense of urgency about tonight, but no desperation just yet. We were actually out yesterday afternoon, last night, with a Sanders volunteer who was knocking on doors here in southern Indiana. And like a lot of people that we meet at Sanders events, she's never been involved with a campaign before. Also, like a lot of people that we meet who are supporting Sanders, she does not plan to back Hillary Clinton if she becomes the Democratic nominee instead.
I'm tired of voting for the lesser of two evils, I guess, so to say. I want to vote for who I want to vote for. So there would have to be a lot of changes.
And we've been hearing that a lot here in Indiana. Bernie or bust. Something interesting about that volunteer in particular, she said that she's been making a lot of new Republican friends lately, even though she's backing Sanders, because they all share the common goal of stopping Hillary Clinton. Martha?
Very interesting. Trump has been saying that he thinks he can win some of those voters, those Sanders voters, over. So we'll see if that turns out to be the case. How about Bill Clinton? Are we starting to see a little bit more of a role developing for Bill Clinton, Peter?
We are, and not just on the trail. Get used to seeing him more at campaign stops, but also potentially in a Hillary Clinton White House, because she hinted yesterday that if elected, she might bring him on board back to the White House in an official capacity to try to reinvigorate some of the depressed manufacturing communities that she's been visiting. Listen to this.
I told my husband that if I'm so fortunate enough as to be president, I want him to do nothing but work as hard as he can, because he did a pretty good job when he was president.
And the Clinton team is doing some damage control as Indiana voters get ready to head on to the polls, because she was called out by a voter for recent statements that she made about putting coal companies out of business. She now says that that was a misstatement. Martha.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. It was an interesting exchange with a coal miner, talking about his family and the impact that Bill Clinton might have on all of that. Remains to be seen. He won West Virginia, so that's something to keep in mind too. Peter, thank you very much.